Good afternoon, students. In the previous class, we discussed about the performance of a computer. Okay, ma, how the performance of the computer varies depending on some factors. Okay, the first one is processor clock. Okay, the first one is processor clock. Here, processor clock means here, if you are taking one instruction, that instruction will be executed in different steps. What are the steps? Fetching the instruction, decoding the instruction, calculate the effective address of the operands, fetching the operands. Next, after fetching the operands, execute the instruction. After executing, we are getting the result, store the result. Okay, these are the steps. Each step followed by one clock cycle. Okay, ma? So based on this processor clock, the performance varies. Next, basic performance equation, that is T equal to N into S by R. This is very, very important equation. Based on this only, the remaining factors also varies. Okay. T equal to N into S by R. Here, what is capital N? The total number of instructions. What is capital S? The steps followed by one instruction. How many steps are executed in one instruction? Okay, ma? R is the clock rate. That is number of clock cycles per second. Okay. So the next one is pipelining and superscalar operation. Here, by using the pipelining, we require less time to execute the program. Okay, ma? So next, clock rate. Clock rate is capital R, the number of clock cycles per second. Okay, based on the period, we are getting the number of clock cycles in a particular time. Okay, next, instruction set countries, that is complex instruction set computer and reduced instruction set computer. Okay, whenever we are taking the complex instruction, how the T varies. Reduced instruction, how the T varies. Okay, ma? Next, compilers. Compilers means this is the translator which converts high level language into machine level language. Okay. So the last one is performance measurement. Okay. Now we will discuss about this performance measurement. Okay. So here, if you observe the first 6 factors, the main concept is based on this equation only. Okay, try to reduce the execution time. We are concentrate on the reduction of execution time only. Okay, ma? Up to now, for getting the good performance computer. Okay, so now the last one is performance measurement. Okay, ma? Here, performance measurement means suppose a designer designs some computer. Okay, that means the computer designers use performance estimates to evaluate the effectiveness of new features. Okay, ma? So here, up to now, we are using this equation to know the performance of the computer. Okay. Sometimes some computer designers estimates to evaluate the effectiveness of new features. Some new features are also used to estimate the performance. So how the new features will be taking. Okay. Here manufacturers use performance indicators in the marketing process. Okay. Marketing process means after manufacturing the computer, then that will be taking in marketing. Okay, ma? So here buyers use such data to choose among many available computer models. Actually, if you are taking the computers, many models are there. To buy the, that is suppose we are try to purchase one computer. Okay, so how we select the computer model? Based on the performance only. That is, depending on our requirement, we select the computer model, first one. Okay, based on our requirement. If we do the number of applications, then we are taking the best model computer. Okay. Like that, depending on our requirement, we are choosing the computer model here. Okay, that is buyers use such data to choose among many available computer models. Okay, based on requirement. Okay, ma? Here, the computer community adopted the idea of measuring computer performance using benchmark programs. That means, in this, to measure the performance, here we are giving some benchmark programs to the computer and how that programs will be executed. Okay, and how that programs will be executed. Okay, here the accepted practice today is to use an agreed upon selection of the real application programs to evaluate performance. Okay, some standardized programs will be given to the computer and try to observe how that will be executed. Okay, those are called here as benchmark programs. Okay, ma, benchmark programs. Here, some organization will be there. That organization is called SPEC. That is System Performance Evaluation Corporation. Okay, ma, some organization will be there. That is SPEC. That is SPEC means System Performance Evaluation Corporation. Okay, so what is this organization do? That organization selects and publishes representative application programs for different application domains together with the test results for many commercially available computers. That means this organization selects and publishes representative application programs. Okay, how those programs will be executed for different application domains. Okay, together with the test results for many commercially available computers. Okay, here the spec rating is computed as the spec rating is equal to, see the material. Okay, here the spec rating is equal to running time on the reference computer divided by running time on the computer under test. Okay, ma, here we are using some comparison method to know the performance of the computer. So which is compared here? Which is compared? Some standardized program are given to some computer. Okay, if that will be getting better, then that will be taking as a reference computer. Okay, next the remaining computers are under test. Okay, how do you know the remaining computers performance? How do you know means here we compare the total characteristics of the reference computer and which is the computer under test. These two are compared. If the computer under test will be suitable for the reference computer, then we are saying the computer which is under test will be good performance. Okay, ma? Actually here by comparing, we know the performance of the computer. Okay, ma? So that based on that, spec rating is equal to running time on the reference computer divided by running time on the computer under test. Okay, see here. Suppose if the spec rating equal to 50 means that the computer under test is 50 times as fast as the Spotio, that is reference computer. Okay, ma? This is repeated for all the programs in the spec suite and the geometric mean of the result is computed. Okay, if you are taking the spec rating is equal to pi I equal to 1 to n spec I whole power 1 by n. Here small n means number of programs in suite. That means how many standardized programs will be taking, how that standardized programs will be executing in the reference computer. Okay, based on that, we know the performance of the computer, that is which is under test. Okay, ma? Here, since actual execution time is measured. Okay, so the reference computer execution time is measured and the computer which is under test, that execution is also measured. Based on that, we know the performance of the computer which is under test. Okay, so in that way, based on the performance measurement, we select the computer model. Okay, ma? Do you understand? These are the factors we are having to know the performance. Okay, ma? So the total 7 factors are completed. The first one is processor clock, and the next one is basic operational equation. Okay, next pipelining and superscalar operation. The next one is clock rate. Okay, ma? Next instruction set countries, compilers, performance measurement. Okay, totally these 7 factors are completed. These 7 factors vary the performance of a computer. Okay, now we start the next topic, that is history of computer development. Okay, ma? History of computer development. Here, if you are taking the history means actually computers as we know them today have been developed over the past 60 years. Okay, here a long slow evolution of mechanical calculating devices proceeded the development of computers. Okay, ma? Here in this history of computer development, we are having first generation computers, second generation computers, third generation, and fourth generation. Okay, ma? If you are taking the first generation, that is in the year 1945 to 1955. Okay, second generation means that is taking in the year 1955 to 1965. Okay, third generation that is taking in the year 1965 to 75. Okay, ma, fourth generation that is 1975 to present. Okay, ma, that means here how the computer development varies generation by generation, how the performance, how the execution time, how the manufacturing of the computer varies generation by generation. Okay, now we will discuss one by one. The first one is here, see here, first generation, that is that is used in 1945 to 1955. Okay, ma? In this first generation, we are using vacuum tubes to design a computer. Okay, ma? To manufacture a computer, we are using vacuum tubes in the first generation. Okay, actually here, whatever the generation may be, first we want, suppose a computer is there. Okay, so in that computer, we write some program based on the required task. Okay, in the computer, we write some program based on the required task. We write the program means compulsory we save that program in some memory locations. Okay, we save that program. That means stored program. Okay. Actually, in the first generation only, the stored program concept will be activated. Okay, we'll be getting. Okay, Amma, here, see here. The key concept of a stored program was introduced at the same time as the development of the first electronic digital computer. Okay, actually, this is invented by John von Neumann. Okay, Amma, John von Neumann. Here, all the programs and data were located in the same memory as they are today. Actually, now what we can do, the programs and data both are stored in some main memory or cache memory. Like that only in the first generation also, all the programs and data are stored in the same memory. Okay, ma? In the first generation. Assembly language is used to program the in the first generation. Okay, the actually assembly language is used to prepare programs and was translated into machine language for execution. See here, what are the procedure we are following to execute the program? The same procedure will be followed in the first generation also. Okay, but here at that time the programming language will be very slow. Okay, that's why so much time is taking to execute any program, and the space occupied by the computer is also very large in the first generation because vacuum tubes are used in the first generation. Okay, ma? Here, suppose if we want to do the arithmetic operations in a few milliseconds using vacuum tube technology to implement logic functions. Okay, ma? To implement logic functions. So in this first generation, we are using magnetic core memories, and magnetic tape storage devices were also developed. Okay, ma? So in this first generation, for storing the programs, that is for storing the data, we are using magnetic core memories and magnetic tape storage devices are used in this first generation. Okay, Amma. Next, second generation. This is in the year 1955 to 1965. Here, for manufacturing the computer, we are using the transistors. Okay, Amma. We are using the transistor. See here. The transistor was invented at AT&T Bell Laboratories in the late 1940s and quickly replaced the vacuum tube in implementing logic functions. Okay, actually in the first generation, we are using vacuum tubes to implement the logic functions. That vacuum tubes was replaced by transistors in the second generation. Okay, ma? This fundamental technology shift marked the start of the second generation. Okay, here magnetic core memories and magnetic drum storage devices were widely used in the second generation. Okay, here magnetic disk storage devices were developed in this generation. Okay, ma? So the earliest high-level languages such as Fortran were developed, making the preparation of application programs much easier. That means in this second generation computers, we are implementing, that means in this second generation, Fortran were developed. Okay, Amma, Fortran were developed. Here also we are using the compilers to translate high-level language into machine language. Okay, ma? Actually, in this second generation, IBM become a major computer manufacturer during this time. Okay, this is about the second generation. Okay, so the third generation means this is in the year 1965 to 1975. Okay, ma? So here we are using integrated circuit technology is used to manufacture the computer. Okay, in the second generation, transistors are used. The transistors are replaced with the integrated circuit. Integrated circuit means that is having many number of transistors and resistors and so many components are inbuilt in that integrated circuit. Okay, ma? So that's why the size will be reduces compared to second generation. And the accessing speed is also very high. Okay, ma? See here. This enabled faster and less costly processors and memory elements to be built. Integrated circuit memories began to replace magnetic core memories. Okay, Amma. In this second generation, we are using magnetic core memories that will be replaced by integrated circuit memories. Okay, this technological development marked the beginning of the third generation. Whenever we are using integrated circuits and integrated circuit memory in this third generation, so here we are having some faster execution will be here. Okay, other developments included the introduction of microprogramming, parallelism, and pipelining. Okay, these are also developed in the third generation. Okay, Amma. Operating system software allowed efficient shooting of a computer system by several user programs. So in this third generation, we are using the cache memory and virtual memories. Okay, cache memory means to retrieve the data from the cache memory, we are having the less time. Okay, we require less time compared to main memory. Okay, that is the advantage of cache memory. Virtual memory means to increase the size of the memory, we are using the virtual memory. So these are also implemented in third generation computers. Okay, Amma. The next one is fourth generation. Fourth generation means that is from 1975 to the present. Okay, here in this fourth generation, we are using a very large scale integrated circuits are used to manufacture the computer. Okay, ma? VLSI. VLSI. Here we are using FPGA. Okay, see here. By the early 1970s, integrated circuit fabrication techniques had evolved to the point where complete processes and large sections of the main memory of small computers could be implemented on single chips. Okay, this marked the start of the fourth generation. That is, what is meant by this? Tens of thousands of transistors could be placed on a single chip. That means thousands of transistors could be placed on a single chip. So what happened here? Based on this, the size will be reduced. Okay, thousands of transistors are placed on a single chip means yeah, so much size will be reduced. And the name is very large scale integration was coined to desirable this technology. Okay, ma? A complete processor fabricated on a single chip become known as a microprocessor. Okay, microprocessor. Companies such as Intel, National Semiconductor, Motorola, Texas Instruments, and advanced micro devices have been the driving forces of this technology. Okay, ma? Current VLSI technology enables the integration of multiple processors and cache memories on a single chip. Okay. So in this present technology of VLSI technology, so many multiple processors and cache memories are fabricated on a single chip. Okay, ma? So these are the advantages in fourth generation. Okay, here we are using a particular form of VLSI technology, that is field programmable gate array, FPGAs, has allowed system developers to design and implement processor, memory, and IO circuits on a single chip to meet the requirements of a specific applications. These are used in embedded computer systems. Okay, ma? These are used in embedded computer systems. Okay, so nowadays we implement so many languages. Okay, so many languages to develop the programs. So all these belongs to fourth generation. Okay, ma? Beyond fourth generation means here, see here, to describe some computer systems that have dominant organizations or application driven features such as artificial intelligence, massively parallel machines, and extensively distributed systems or current trends. Okay, ma? So this is about the total historical development of a computer system. Okay, ma? First generation. In first generation, we are using vacuum tubes. Second generation, we are using transistors. Third generation, we are using integrated circuits. Fourth generation, we are using very large scale integrated circuits. So if we are manufacturing tens and thousands of transistors on a single chip, then that will be taking as a microprocessor. Okay, so in this way, generation by generation, the size of the computer will be reduces and the speed will be increases. Okay, ma? So this is about the historical development of a computer. Okay. Okay, ma, thank you. So the next topic is register transfer that will be discussed in the next class. Okay, ma? Here in this, if you understand the concept, then you will write with your own words. Okay, no need to by heart this. Read this up to understanding 1 or 2 times. Okay.